Hello, good afternoon, and welcome everyone to my presentation I'm going to give on how IT can give you a competitive edge. My name is Robert Best, and I'm the marketing manager at Infotech Solutions. So today, I'm going to be covering how the right IT can give your business a good competitive edge. I'm going to show examples specific to the construction industry. And I'm also going to include some actionable tips for remote working. And then we'll have a look at how you can start finding those competitive edges and what you can do kind of today to get started with things. Don't worry about trying to keep up and take notes as we go. We'll make sure a copy of this slide deck is available for everyone to have a look through later on. Before we get started, I just wanted to share a little bit of information about who Infotech Solutions are. We are a business and technology consultancy company that serves small to medium-sized businesses across the UK, with a focus, of course, being on Kent. Our mission is to look after all our company's IT technologies, helping you implement a proven IT strategy in alignment with your business goals, and remove your IT challenges to make IT easy for you, so you can focus on what's important, which is serving your customers better and being adaptable to other business challenges. We're also brand new patrons of the Kent Invicta Chamber of Commerce, so you'll be seeing a lot more of us over the next few months. It's 2020, so of course we have to talk about COVID-19. I just wanted to briefly touch on how it's impacted the workplace and what technology can do to help. In mid-March, we had this a huge rush towards remote working. At the start of the year, only about 5% of the UK workforce was working remotely, and then data released by the government showed that by mid-April, that number was almost half of us. And it spiked quickly. The rushed nature of lockdown meant that many businesses had to rush their remote work setup. Many businesses put a stopgap system in place so they could keep operating. And it was starting to look like that would be okay. We'd be heading back to something closer to normal. However, last week's announcement by the government looks like we could be looking at up to 6 more months working from home. And then, to be fair, a lot of businesses are now starting to look at how they can continue to offer remote working as we pass beyond the COVID-19 crisis. So I just wanted to cover quickly some common security issues that may have been caused by the initial rush and now the return to remote working. Personal devices will be now accessing your network, but do you know if they're virus-free? Sometimes even the owner of that device might not even know. Personal devices will get used outside of work hours for all sorts of stuff. And now more than ever, it's easy to kind of pick up these little viruses here and not even be aware of them. But once you connect to your network, then that gives access to the network for the virus as well. And that's something you really want to avoid. It's highly likely as well that data is going to be stored insecurely. I know it's very easy to download something and save it onto your own device, and that's going to bring back our old friend GDPR there. Another issue is updates not being installed regularly. Hopefully you have a process in place so updates are regularly installed on your devices, but does that happen with remote devices now? We found that's something that that companies hadn't been able to think about as they've kind of moved to remote working. So if you have any concerns over those issues, please get in touch. We spent a large part of this year working with our customers to make sure they're working securely from home. So we've had plenty of practice with it. So what good are problems without solutions? I just wanted to cover some specific things that we have done for our clients to help them transition into a secure and productive form of remote working. Secured network connections allow your staff to connect your business network so they don't have to so they can continue to work from normal, pretty much as if they were back in the office. You might have heard of VPN and tools like that. That's exactly the kind of thing that we put in place for customers, and we've also then made sure like the security is correct on the VPNs as well, to make sure that connection does stay secure. Another way to keep your staff productive and be able to make collaboration is using cloud-based tools such as Microsoft Teams. That's something that we use as a company and has been invaluable for us as we've had to work through remote working. It gives us the ability to access and edit files in real time with whoever you need to throughout the company. So it helps keep that collaboration in place and not feeling like you're kind of separate away from the company. And one of the biggest wins we've had from remote working is our telephone system. We use a VoIP-based system, which means with an app installed on our mobiles, any call we receive to our work phones can be answered on the mobile. It works exactly the same way making calls, and with every client that we've installed and managed VoIP with, they've saved money on their existing telephone bills as well. We'll talk about that a bit more detail later on as well. Having the whole business working from home was a massive change for most businesses. How you can make sure staff are staying productive and keeping up with their workload. That's always been one of the biggest worries, I think, when it comes around to remote working. We have access to monitoring tools that can firstly monitor your technology to make sure it's doing everything it should and keeping your business secure. And secondly, we also have been helping clients install and manage monitoring software to make sure the whole business is staying productive while working from home. Okay, like I said, I just wanted to cover some quick points on remote working, because how each business adapts to remote working throughout the COVID-19 pandemic is very important. If all your competitors are just managing to tread water and muddle through remote working, and you're set up to run exactly as you would if you were in the office, then you have a big edge right there. But I wanted to look beyond remote working for this presentation and discuss the different ways that the right IT can give you a competitive edge. We are IT partners with a few construction companies in Kent and London, but today I'm going to focus mostly on the work we've done with one partner in particular. That is Hay Construction. We've done a lot of work with them in the last year to help them maximize the benefits of technology. And the examples I give will also include stuff we've done for our other partners as well. Collaboration with field-based staff. I've just spoken about the difficulties many businesses have found with remote working this year. But for you guys in the construction industry, it's something you've all kind of already been working with as your staff are often out in the field or out on sites. We've been working with all our construction partners to help them improve the communication and the collaboration that they can have with their on-site workers. We've implemented Microsoft Office 365 for collaboration with field-based staff. The array of tools within Office 365 means any member of staff can access and edit any file in real time. That's a massive win for collaboration. If you remember the days of trying to send a spreadsheet back and forth over email, and you can only edit once they've made changes and you've resaved it, that's all gone. We're looking at now real-time edits at the same time with other people. We've also worked on communication methods as well. Real-time chat can be used to communicate between multiple members of staff or even whole teams. Through Microsoft Teams, we have been using their robust video calling tool, and that's how we've been holding our internal meetings. And they're also great for sales meetings if you can't get out to see the clients in person. For the best possible communication, we really do recommend switching to a VoIP-based telephone system. VoIP lets you make and receive calls through your office phone, no matter where you are. With a mobile app, you can take your office phone with you wherever you go. And because VoIP works through an internet connection, you can also save money on your telephone bills. For us and our clients that use VoIP, it's been a massive assistant throughout the period of remote working we've been in. Slow hardware. As we started working with construction companies, the first thing we noticed was the huge pressure of the deadlines that you guys face. Time is most certainly money. So straight away, we started to look at how we could use technology to give our construction partners back some time. We find this across almost all industries that slow hardware is not being upgraded enough, and completely understand why that is, because no one wants to keep buying new PCs and laptops every few years. But you will truly be surprised by the increase in productivity and the extra man hours given back to the business updating hardware can achieve. For all our construction clients, we have upgraded a lot of PCs, laptops, and other hardware. Construction has obviously very big, heavy machinery costs that will be prioritized over hardware and software. But since the updates, all our construction clients have commented on the increased productivity working with faster machines. Plus, by working with an IT provider like ourselves, you can benefit from the discounts that we have available to us from our suppliers. IT infrastructure. One of the reasons Hague left their previous IT provider to partner with us was that IT infrastructure was just not up to scratch for their business requirements. So what does that actually mean? Well, your business is already filled with lots of technology, but for it all to run smoothly, it needs to be connected together and managed. Again, this is about making sure technology is aiding your productivity and not harming it. It would also have a massive impact on your cybersecurity. If your IT infrastructure is a mess or is not where it needs to be, then there's no way that you can fully defend yourself from outside cyber attacks. So we work with Hague to bring their infrastructure up to speed, and now we manage it for them as well to maintain it and make sure everything's working the way it should be. Believe me, that involves a lot of technical work, and I'll avoid boring you with too many of the details. But this included things like server virtualization, new operating systems, configuring safe shutdowns, upgrading network switches, upgrading all end-of-life workstations, and implementing multi-factor authentication to help improve general security. Save money. So sadly, because of the events of this year, saving money will be on the mind of businesses even more so. Many of the changes we've already spoken about there have helped reduce costs. Increasing productivity through updated hardware, putting in place a robust IT infrastructure and improved collaboration can help a business save money. Outsourcing your IT, in almost all cases, is cheaper than the cost of in-house IT staff. Simply put, the annual cost of IT support will almost always be less than the cost of a full-time employee. And for that cost, you get access to a whole team of IT experts as opposed to just one person. I've already mentioned VoIP quite a bit already, but the simple fact is VoIP telephone systems end up saving more money compared to the traditional landline approach. And buying subscriptions, hardware and software for us will also give you access to the discounts that we get from our range of suppliers. As with anything as well, the more products and services that you can get from one supplier will start bringing down the overall cost. And the next edge I'm going to talk about as well is also another hidden way of saving money. Limit downtime. We're still surprised by how many businesses accept periods of downtime as a consequence of working with technology. We accept zero downtime is impossible to achieve, but every one of our construction partners have been impressed with how much less downtime they have to deal with. Needless to say, if you can't work, then you can't make money. But to compound things, if you can't work and your competitors can, then you're giving away a serious competitive edge there. We've created a downtime calculator, which we use to show potential clients how much money their business would lose for each hour of downtime they experience. And the answer always does manage to surprise them. I've included a link there you'll see on the slide there to the calculator that we have on our website. I really do urge you to check that out because it'll give you a true understanding of how much downtime really will cost your business, and it is tailored directly to your business as well. The kind of information that you put in there will give you an answer that's kind of exclusive to your business. Positive customer experience. So the customer is king, and that's never true than it is right now. Again, as we work through the events of 2020, keeping a hold of customers has never been as important as it is right now. And technology can really help you maximize your customer's experience. This can cover a huge range. For example, being able to offer a guest Wi-Fi network when customers come to visit your office. The way you communicate with your customers will have a massive effect on their experience. We've already covered a few tools that can help make that communication as good as possible. Again, VoIP telephones mean you can have high quality sounding calls no matter where you are, or the video calling tools available, and a strong internet connection mean you can look professional even if you can't meet your customers face to face anymore. Protecting your business. So we can't talk about technology without talking about cybersecurity. Unfortunately, the two go hand in hand now because cyber attacks just continue to rise year on year. Last year, almost half the small businesses in the UK had to deal with at least one cyber attack. And believe me, there are many more scary stats that could easily fill the whole 30 minutes of this presentation because cyber attacks now have become a big money industry. And you don't have to be a massive company for them to make money from you. There are still too many small and medium-sized businesses in the UK that have not put in place enough protection, and they then make themselves low-hanging fruits, easy targets and easy wins for cyber criminals. The last stat there I've shown just shows how important cybersecurity has become there. 71% of customers say they would take their business elsewhere after a data breach. On top of everything that can happen to your business when you suffer an attack, the long periods of downtime, the loss of data, the cost of recovery, you are now also risking your customers, it seems. The storage and the protection of data has never been more important and more in the mind of customers and clients. A couple of months ago, I did a presentation for the Chamber on 7 actionable tips to protect your business technology. I just wanted to run through 3 of those tips because they're really easy to get started with and they can make a massive difference. So tip 1 is use strong passwords and multi-factor authentication. Passwords make up the basis of your security. As you can see from this chart here, it shows the hacking speeds of password formats. So let's hope that everyone here kind of watching is in the green at least here. This has been such a really good tool for us here because it kind of really quickly shows like how well how secure your passwords truly are. We recommend that you aim for the high end of this table and that you prompt your staff to change them every few months. Of course, you'll struggle to remember these new complex passwords. So Passwords Manager is also a great tool to help you securely store these new complex strong passwords. Use a different password for each account or login. If one account gets hacked and you use the same password across all your accounts, then they have access to all of your accounts now. Multi-factor authentication acts as a failsafe for passwords. When you log in, MFA prompts you to take another action. The most common is to input a code that is sent to your mobile. It's a really popular failsafe, and you're going to see it being used a lot more and more. I know online banking uses it very heavily, and we're starting to see more online retailers start to use it. I've included a link here on the slides to 2 articles that we've done on passwords and multi-factor authentication that has a lot more helpful info in there as well for you. Tip 2 is educating your staff. The stat there is again another really good stat, shows that 88% of UK data breaches are caused by human error, and that can be something as simple as just clicking on the wrong link or on the wrong email. That's all it takes to undo all the good work that you have in place. So it's vital to educate your staff about the vital role they play in securing your business. CEO fraud and imposter emails that are a form of malicious emails that are on the rise. So educating your staff around those different areas, and especially your staff in finance, on what to do when they receive those emails is very important. And kind of last stat there to finish that there, a recent study showed that 70% of employees don't understand cybersecurity. If that's the case in your business, then you're opening yourself up to a world of danger there. And just the last tip there is regularly installing updates. As you can see, 60% of breaches involved vulnerabilities. A patch was available for, but not applied. Yes, they can be annoying to have regular updates come through and take time out of your day, but by not installing them, you are leaving your business at risk. At the start of this year, Windows 7 reached end of life. That means no more security updates. And this is like fantastic for cyber criminals, because anyone still using Windows 7 will be at risk. So if your business is still using Windows 7, you have my permission to get off this webinar now, get on the phone, give us a call, and we'll get it sorted straight away, because that's how kind of a big of a risk it is. Windows 7 wouldn't have had any security updates since January of this year. So that's plenty of vulnerabilities for the wrong people to take advantage of. If you're interested in hearing all the tips, please drop me an email afterwards and I can send you a copy of that presentation as well. I think it was really useful. There was seven tips in there that are really easy to kind of get started with and make such a big difference. I also wanted to share some information with you that we just got through from one of our partners called StorageCraft about the work that they've done with a construction company. So StorageCraft offer data protection, data management, and business continuity solutions globally. And Coral Homes is one of the leading home builders in Australia. So they needed a new solution to enable them to modernize their data management and protection strategies associated with the infrastructure of that data storage. Coral Homes wanted to be confident in the storage management and protection of that data, especially when trying to connect with home buyers across the country. The biggest challenge they faced was regarding just the huge volume of client data that was stored off-site and on a private cloud. This had potential risk for such as security, cost management, compliance, of course, and then also performance, being able to access that data when you need to. Furthermore, it became a big challenge for them if a member of staff had lost any of that data. So using our partner StorageCraft solution, Coral Homes have now been able to kind of claim back that data, as it were. The data is now secure, it's now compliant, and it's recoverable as well if anything goes wrong, and they have access to it when they need to do it as well. With GDPR coming in a couple of years ago, and with compliance across all kind of industries, the storage of data has become so important now that again, it's something that we recommend every business to kind of consider how they're storing that data, how are they backing up their data, can that data be recovered, and are they still able to access that data in the way they need to. Okay, so before we finish up, I just wanted to kind of give you a quick summary of some of the things that you can do now to kind of get started with those competitive edges I mentioned around technology. Firstly, please follow those 3 security tips I gave you. I picked them because they're like really easy to kind of get started with, and they do make such a massive difference. Secondly, take a moment to consider each of these potential edges that we've gone through today and work out where your business sits with them. It's very easy to take technology for granted and very easy just to plug it in and off you go and kind of never take time to look back and consider if it's still working the way you need it to. Of course, I'm going to recommend that you talk to us. We work with a few construction companies now, and we're really thankful to them because they've been brilliant in helping us understand the industry and the unique challenges that come with the construction industry. As I said at the start, we're now patron members of the Chamber, and an important part of that for us is to kind of give back to the community. We have a company full of so much knowledge around IT and technology that we're now trying to get that across to as many people as we can and help out if we can. We offer a free IT audit and that will review your whole technology setup. We identify the good, the bad and the ugly and then give you recommendations on how you can fix those issues and what kind of timelines you need to work to with each of those. And finally, keep an eye out for us. We're keen, as I say, to get as much information out and across about technology as possible. And into the next slide. There you go. Thank you very much for taking the time out today and listening to my presentation. I hope you found it helpful and useful experience. I highly recommend going through the slides and look through each of those different edges because they can make a real difference. I've got up my contact details there. If you have any IT questions, please get in touch. We have a company full of great IT experts, and in the kind of 4 years that I've been there, I haven't managed to stump them once with a technology issue or a problem. So I'm sure they'll be able to help. Again, thank you again for listening. I haven't been able to keep up with the chat to see if there's any questions in there, but I think we might have a couple of minutes to go through them now, if possible.
Thank you so much, Rob. I think there was just one question there.
Okay.
I think it was from Alan. He said, we've started using VR over lockdown. Have you got any advice on using this new technology?
Really good. Yeah, really good question. And the best way to answer that generally, actually, Alan, is if you want to drop me an email with like the kind of issues you're having with it, I can then make sure it goes on to the right person who's going to answer that fully for you. I'm just a marketing bod, so there's only so much that I'll ever be able to help with, but I know straight away 3 or 4 people who would love to kind of look further into that and give you an answer on that.
Thank you. I know we've done a couple of events with you guys recently, and the knowledge that you guys share and the help that you're able to give, it's fantastic. And
they're that, like, the guys in the office, they're scary. Like how much info they have on things and how the kind of depth technology goes to. Like, it's been an eye-opener when just working for the company.
I can imagine, and I guess especially recently as well, so many people, you know, our whole work, our whole home life, we've brought it all home, but it's all gone online. So protecting your IP, protecting all of your, you know, all your private data is so important now, if not more than ever. So I can imagine.
Oh, yeah, massively so. I mean, so many businesses will have just completely switched the way they worked and had to do it like instantly as well. So there are going to be cracks that people aren't aware of or weren't prepared for just because of the nature of what happened. So yeah, it's kind of been our aim throughout the summer is to try and educate as much as possible, because the consequences unfortunately can be quite severe. So yeah, that's kind of been our aim throughout the summer and now into autumn.
I can imagine it's as well one of those things that as soon as the sort of someone does hack, or you know, some kind of data's been released, you sort of think, oh, I wish I just, and it's one of those things that you need to do it before it happens and not react after it's happened, because everyone's been in that position before.
100%. And but I mean, they're easily overlooked because like, I'm not an IT expert. You don't have to be an IT expert to run a company. You shouldn't have to be an IT expert to run a company. So there's just areas that you just won't be aware of. So like I said, that's what we're trying to do, is just trying to make sure we can tell as many people as possible about them.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe if you're happy to put your email address in the chat or something in a second, then the attendees have a copy.
Yeah,
And
no
just
problem.
perfect. Thank you.